Welcome in to This Week in College Baseball, brought to you by Driving the Line, Week 9 edition. My name is Alan Bell. We have a great show lined up for you today, and let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it and introduce our brand new top 25 for Week 9. All right, if you are brand new to Driving the Line or This Week in College Baseball, what this show is a primer for the weekend series in college baseball. If you're brand new to college baseball, it's essentially in a given week, you really have got 2 looks at it. You have midweek games, either 1 or 2, and then you have a weekend series. Now we are in conference play. So the brand new Week 9 top 25 teams that are in white means that they have remained at the same spot they were last week. Teams in green, they have moved up. Teams in red, they have dropped back. And teams in blue are brand new to the top 25. So you see, top 5, no change. All right, all good weekends, looked sharp. 6 through 10, all moved up. Well done. Vanderbilt had a really nice showing. Duke had a nice showing. Florida State had a nice showing. Kentucky had a great showing. You see 11 through 15, North Carolina, Dallas Baptist dropped back. Wake Forest, as much as we have struggled trying to cap Wake Forest game by game because they are essentially a slinky down a flight of stairs. Had a good weekend. Moved up from 21 to 14. You see 16 through 20. Virginia Tech finally came back down to earth a little bit. Oregon, Louisiana, welcome in to the top 25. And then you see 21 through 25. Oklahoma State, welcome in to the top 25. Florida, just no, don't want to do that. And Alabama dropping all the way back to number 25. So that's our top 25. Let's dig in now to what we have and what we're looking at this weekend. So here are your Week 9 key ranked series. And we're going to break these down more in just a minute, but we want to set the tone really for where are big teams, where are rotational teams playing at this weekend. Number 1, Arkansas. At number 25, Alabama. We're going to talk about that one here in just a second. Big weekend for those 2 teams. NC State at number 2, Clemson. Does Clemson continue to roll? NC State, tough weekend. Do they bounce back? Break that down in a minute. Vanderbilt, number 6. At number 3, Texas A&M. You want to talk about 2 consistent, good baseball teams. That's going to be a great one. LSU out of the top 25. At number 4, Tennessee. That is going to be, we'll break that one down here in just a second as well. Number 8, Kentucky at Auburn. Can Kentucky continue to roll? And does Auburn, are they going to get themselves and win a series? Miami at number 10, Florida State. Anytime you get Florida State, Miami, Florida playing against each other, it's always going to be good baseball. Florida State playing at home, that's big. Playing at home in college baseball so far through 8 weeks has proven to be quite important. Number 11, Virginia at Louisville. Louisville, and we're going to talk about this more in a minute too, but Louisville is that team that you don't want to face. Like, they're not great, but they're not a bad baseball team at all. And with them playing at home, it's dangerous. Like, they are very difficult. Like, their games, their series are very difficult to bet because they could beat anyone at any time, anywhere. So we'll talk more about that, but just mark that one. Be careful. You might want to keep an eye on game 1 in that series and go from there if you were betting on that. Because, I mean, look, Virginia, they're a heck of a baseball team. Yes, they've fallen back just a touch, but welcome to college baseball. That happens. That's going to be an interesting series. And then number 22, Mississippi State at Ole Miss. 2 teams that have won national championships in the recent past. 2 fan bases that do not like each other. And both of them take baseball very, very seriously because of that's good. Let me just say, it's always a fun series. What I'm interested in with this one are the run totals, because Ole Miss started the season and they were hitting everything. Got to slow down a little bit. Mississippi State, good baseball team that doesn't necessarily hit a ton of overs, right? But when you have a rivalry like this, man, anything can happen. So keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on the totals of what is introduced. And then if it moves up, if it moves down, something to mark there. Okay. Week 9, under the radar series. All right. So what we do here is let's talk about some series that we have this weekend where you might find some value. Okay. And here is the first one: Northern Illinois at Illinois. Illinois is a phenomenal baseball team. They do not get the credit that they deserve. They are excellent at the plate. They can hit. They can put up runs quickly. All right. Pay attention there what prices you get, especially. And look, this show comes out on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you're watching this in the future and you saw Tuesday or Wednesday, midweek games, and you're like, Illinois or whatever, like, understand, we're talking about the weekend here, midweek games. You're playing in-state directional schools a lot of times. You're pitching young freshmen. You're getting other guys in your lineup rotations. Be a little different. So if you're new to it, just understand that there's kind of two different, game approaches during the week. But Illinois, keep an eye there. If they are offered by the books, they have been playing excellent baseball. All right, Louisiana Tech and Arizona. Okay, Louisiana Tech is an excellent baseball team. Excellent baseball team. And with them going to Arizona, I don't know what the money line prices or totals are going to be here, but Arizona's big name, big brand, and you might be able to steal with Louisiana Tech. Mark this one down. Like, keep this one with you. Keep an eye when the books release them. Louisiana Tech's a baseball team, man, for sure. Now, it's not easy to go to Arizona. I'm not saying they're just going to go out and sweep, but Louisiana Tech, you might be able to find it. And that's kind of what we're trying to do, is find our value plays and where we can attack. Louisiana Tech has been a team proven to do that. All right, Houston Christian at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now, I don't know if the books are going to give this game or these games this weekend, but if they do, watch the totals. Go look at these two teams and their run productions, both offensively and what they allow. These two teams, their games are in the 20s, man. It's wild. So if you see that your books offer these games from this series, yeah, you might want to take a look at the total. And then New Mexico State at Middle Tennessee. Okay, so Middle Tennessee is just down the road from me. I'm in Nashville. MTSU is in Murfreesboro. TSU, not a good baseball team. But the reason that I highlighted this is that this could be a great under-the-radar series to play totals, play overs, all right? MTSU will give up a lot of runs. New Mexico State could score a lot of runs. They'll give up runs too, right? So if your books offer any games from this series and they have the totals, yeah. Like, mark these down here with you, and then when you see them on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you might be able to hit some nice plays on overs if the total is right. All right, so those are our under the radar series. Just something to keep with you, and keep quiet. The books may not be paying full attention to. Okay, week 9 stat leaders. So we have team home run leaders, team pitching leaders. The reason that we give these is, number one, teams that hit bombs, they score a lot of runs, right? But that's where you can find, like, if you play totals, these teams hit a lot of overs. Tennessee, 87 home runs. Georgia, 87 home runs, right? These two teams just mash constantly. Doesn't matter who they're playing against. No matter if they win or lose, they're going to be runs. And they'll give up runs too, right? We just saw them play in a series 2 weeks ago, and there were 18 runs a game, grand slams galore. They hit bombs. Austin Peay, 72. They score a ton of runs. Campbell starting to come back here. And Florida, 67 home runs. I mean, couldn't do it against Missouri. Appreciate you there. But, yeah, Florida starting to bats coming alive a little bit. Now, pitching. So you see the team, you see the number. The number is the opponent's batting average through the year against said team. So, number one, Arkansas, they've been number one. Well, they're the number one team in the country, but they've been number one here pitching-wise as well. Teams are hitting 193 collectively against the Razorbacks this year. Arkansas is just a phenomenal baseball team. I mean, they can hit, pitch, field. They don't beat themselves. Now, they don't really have huge high-scoring games. They can, because they can hit, but they just don't allow opponents to score a lot of runs. So if you're looking for, ways to play unders. Arkansas, for the most part, has been pretty nice there. Kentucky, opponents hitting 204. Kentucky's been here all year long. They've got really good pitching, man. Really good pitching. That's why you see them ranked at the top 10. They're a good baseball team. They can hit too. They got really good pitching. Duke, 208. We played Duke last weekend. Duke they don't score a ton of runs, but they don't allow you to score a lot of runs either, right? Like they win a lot of 5-4 games, 6-5, 6-4 games like that. So if you play totals, play unders, take a look at their history. Go through it, take a look, how they approach Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fridays, they're solid, man. Teams just don't get a lot of hits, don't put up a lot of runs against Duke. East Carolina, 209, and Lamar, look at Lamar, 211. So that'll kind of give you just an idea if you are, needing just a little bit more of, okay, why do these teams win? How do they win? If you're playing money lines, run lines, or totals, that'll help you out a little bit. All right, so week 9 coming in hot. Okay, so what this is to identify teams that are coming in hot, that had an excellent week the previous week, week 8, right? Now, there are 2 ways to go about it. So we talk about it every show. College baseball is very much a ping pong sport, all right? Have great weekend, bad weekend. Great weekend, bad weekend. Now, it doesn't always apply, right? Like Arkansas's been on this list a lot, right? But it's important to, if you're betting these, high-ranked teams, it's important to understand what they've been doing, who they're playing this weekend, and where. And I'll give you a perfect example. Arkansas, number 1 ranked team in the country, went 4-0 last week, okay? At Alabama. Alabama did not have a good weekend at all. Guess what? I think Alabama could steal one. I think Alabama could steal 2. I really do. I think that Alabama is a team. Let's wait and see what the prices are. Let's wait and see on all that. We won't get that until, Friday. But I think that Alabama, like Arkansas, is going to come back down to earth. They're going to do it. I'm not saying that they're going to completely fall, but this is exactly why we do this. And you'll see the next slide of teams that are on the bounce back. Alabama's on it. This is exactly why we have these 2 slides. Alabama could be a team that could bounce it back strong, and Arkansas, a tough weekend is just due. It's going to happen at some point soon. That's just baseball. It's a numbers game. Alabama, mark that one down. Keep an eye there. All right, number 2, Clemson. Again, we mentioned 4-0 gets NC State. NC State they're on the other slide, did not have a good weekend. Are they good enough to go to Clemson and steal 2 games? I don't know. I mean, they're a good baseball team. But if Clemson's playing its style, they're tough to beat. But keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on game 1 in this series. Not only who wins, but keep an eye on pitching, right? Who is utilizing their bullpen more? Who is burning arms? Especially, like, if you get Clemson and they blow out NC State in game 1, and you see NC State use 6 pitchers, okay? And then even in game 2, right? If NC State and Clemson are tight, right? But again, NC State's using arms. Game 3, they're going to have nobody. No one. And Clemson can tear you apart. If you have, bottom of the list relief pitchers, you're going to bullpen game, Clemson can make you pay. So that's why we do these, to pay attention to series here where, you can identify, because again, 3-game series, it's almost like the playoffs every weekend. You know what I mean? Oregon State, 5-0, came back 2 weeks ago. They weren't looking. They came back down to earth, kind of what we were talking about with Arkansas. There was no one hotter in the country than Oregon State, but they bounced back. Ping pong, man. All right, 5-0 versus Stanford. You know how we feel about Stanford. I'm all over Oregon State. Now, the tough part is that books don't always give us Oregon State to bet, but if they do at home, yeah, give me the Beavers here. All right, Duke, 4-0, 7th-ranked team in the country at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a decent team. You can't take them lightly. Duke is much better. But the problem is that Duke doesn't always score a ton of runs, like we talked about. They beat you 6-4, 5-2, which, I mean, a win is a win. But keep an eye there. Like, it's always risky on the road against a team that's decent and you don't score a lot of runs. So keep an eye there. Might be nice to play some unders. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. We'll have to see on Friday. All right. Kentucky, as we mentioned, ranked 8th in the country. 3-0 last week at Auburn. Auburn's okay. They started out hot, and they've kind of not only came back down to earth, but consistently came back to where they are. But does Kentucky do it again? It's tough to do it in the SEC. It's tough to do it anywhere. But keep a look here, man. Auburn could steal a couple. Just keep an eye. Or Kentucky could win by 200, right? Like Kentucky can put up a ton of runs. And obviously we just talked about with their pitching. But keep an eye here. Let's get I'd like to get a game in first to see what that looks like. And then Wake Forest. They have not been a model of consistency at all this year, but they went 4-0. And we've got to identify that. And the reason that I listed them, not that we're betting them, they're at Boston College. I just want to see it. They do it again. Do we start to see consistency out of Wake Forest? Let's check. They're very similar to Florida. Those two teams have been very, very similar in that you just don't know what you're going to get, not only weekend to weekend, but game by game. So just mark it down. We're not saying bet anything on this whatsoever. I'm not saying don't do it, but this is just something that we want to jot, keep an eye on, pay attention to. That's it. All right, now let's look at the opposite side here. All right, the bounce back. North Carolina went 1-2 last week versus Notre Dame. This could be nice. North Carolina could be very, very nice to bet this weekend, and I assure you we will likely be doing it. Keep an eye. Mark them down. That's a team. Virginia Tech, 0-3 at Georgia Tech. I don't like that they're on the road, and Georgia Tech they're not consistent either, but they're good enough to put it on you. But Virginia Tech, I think that this could be a bounce back spot for them too. And being on the road at Georgia Tech, you could get some really nice money line prices here. So jot that one down. Alabama, we just talked about it. 1-3 last weekend at home against Arkansas. Alabama needs to have a big weekend. Needs to have a big weekend. Pay attention to game one. But yeah, Alabama could be a sneaky team to take some wins from. LSU, out of the top 25, gone. 1-3 last week. Now, granted, Vanderbilt's a tough team, but at number 4, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's good. Tennessee's lethal at home, but Tennessee gives up runs in the first inning seemingly every game. And Tennessee will give up runs, and they haven't been great on Fridays either. I don't know what the total of game one is going to be, but if the weather's good and it's blowing out of Lindsey Nelson, this could be a series where there are a lot of runs. This could be a series we play a lot of totals in this weekend. NC State just spoke about it. 0-4 last week at Clemson. Tough. We'll see. South Carolina, 1-3 at Florida. Who knows what you're going to get out of Florida? Who knows what you're going to get out of South Carolina on the road? But if Florida does what Florida does, up, down, who knows? Yeah, we'll see. There is significant risk on playing both of these teams, so just be careful in regards to those. Okay, last one, diamonds in the rough. So, sorry, I hit the wrong button here on you. All right, so here are some stats and notes to pay attention to. Indiana, okay, we played them in Maryland, runs galore. Indiana scored 88 runs over its last 7 games. Doesn't mean they win all of them. They give up runs too. But they have been a phenomenal team to play overs in. And I believe they're hosting Penn State this weekend. Yeah, pay attention to that one. Creighton, baseball. They are 24-5 and have not lost back-to-back games all season. If you see a loss, they come back with a win. They've done it every time this year. Creighton is definitely a team to mark in your notes and always see if you can find on your books. Air Force. Now, here's the risk. Like I said, this show comes out on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Air Force has a game tonight. I think in Northern Colorado. They're going to win a midweek game at some point, but they've played 8 midweek games this season, and they've lost all 8 of them. If they lose again, Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my god. Like just jot this one down too. Not only for Tuesday if you're watching this on Tuesday, but just going through the rest of the year. It has not been nice for them midweek. Texas. All right. We did this one last week and they lost the opening game again. They have lost the opening game in 4 straight weekend series. Definitely want to keep that one on the whiteboard. And if they happen to win a game one, say this weekend, fine. Take a look next weekend, right? Like keep that on you that it has not been good going up against other teams' number one pitcher, their ace. Nichols. Don't always get Nichols to bet, but 29 of Nichols' 34 games this season, double-digit run totals. I mean, just runs absolutely galore. If you see any Nichols games that pop up on your books, yeah, look at the total. It's just been an over bonanza all year long. And then Louisiana, you saw them in the top 25 first time this week. They're riding a 15-game winning streak. This team is getting the job done. Done, son. So, Louisiana, that's a team. Definitely keep an eye on there. Okay, that's it. That's all the time that we have. I sure do appreciate you all watching, tuning in, no matter when you watch this show during the week. And like I said, there are no picks because we don't have lines. We're not going to get those until Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on which night, day that the series start. But this is just a good primer. Set us up, understand who we want to look at, what we want to look at, and why will help you, me, and everyone hit more bets. And that's the whole goal of it. So until next time, everybody, best of luck. It's Cassie's Tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.